Welcome to Robert's Train Set. And after the trip in the last video to the Stowmarket Model Railway Club's exhibition, it was excellent, even though I missed some of it. This week we're back on the end-to-end railway, and as you can see, I'm in the conservatory. Now I'm finding it rather difficult to get motivated at the moment because I quite enjoy watching the Tour de France, which is on. And today is the Monday, which is their first rest day, and I think they flaming well need it. But yeah, so I am sort of trying to jiggle in between watching that and whatever, and the other bits and pieces. There was a British Grand Prix yesterday as well, where Lewis Hamilton did his final win for Mercedes at Silverstone, which, you know, you couldn't write the script for it, could you? So you know, life goes on. So I finally got to the point where I want to get this nice station building that I was given onto the layout and make it work properly. And if you followed me, you'll know what I'm going to say, but I need to get the front of the platform to match up with the new platforms, which is one of these. So to that end, I had a good look at it, and I had to make some decisions, as we all need to, don't we? Maybe the Labour government will be making a few decisions. So where are we now? Well, we're actually there. So if you remember, I had, you know, the edge of the platform here and whatever. I didn't show it again because I've shown it so many times. I'm sure you all know what it looked like. So the easiest way to show you what I did is photos, and that's what I took when I did this. So we'll go from looking at this like this to how I got it to like this, and then hopefully more photos, possibly building it up to look on the edge more like that. But what you might notice on here is it's a bit curved. It doesn't show very well on the film, but I've curved it to allow the locos to hopefully negotiate the crossovers. So let's see how we get on with this, shall we? And just finally, I don't know if you can see, but this is where I had the melanoma cut out, and the last time you saw it was not looking very pretty, was it? But yeah, it's a lot better now. And this is only about 3 weeks after the op, so can't complain, can you? So, and I do thank everybody that asked after how I was. And also, obviously, thank you to all the new subscribers that have come on. Yeah, it's been phenomenal for me. I mean, you know, I'm lucky to get, you know, a couple of new ones in 6 months, but yeah, it's been really, really good, and I'm beginning to get near to 1,500 subscribers. Got a way to go yet, that's absolutely, but not as many as Charlie Bishop at Chadwick Model Railways has got to get up to 100,000. So will we get there at the same time? I doubt it, but there we are. Okay, so let's get on with this, shall we? Cheers. So this is the underside, and you can see it's got the strengtheners on, but what I found when I looked into it was that none of them were actually stuck to the platform top, which was a bit strange. Didn't quite understand that. And they don't look as though they've ever been stuck. It wasn't that they'd come apart. So I decided to take all this lot out, as you can see, and it came out really easy. It's a bit of snipping, and yeah, it was off. So then it was what to decide to do with this front, and I always thought I'd have to take this away, so that's what I have done. Yeah, that bit there. Now, I was a bit dubious about that bit because it's obviously all well glued. Anyway, I got the brickwork off fairly easily, actually. It wasn't too bad. A bit of the knife and a bit of the letter opener, funny enough. And yeah, a bit of a mess, agreed, but it got better. So by using the letter opener, and it's a really thin one, this, really fine, I sort of forced it down between the top of the platform and these strips on. And I did have to even be careful with this because it almost sort of went through. Never have done it with a knife. And then I gradually peeled back the layers because it's cardboard, isn't it? So there were layers. So I did get there in the end, I think. And what I was left with, I was a lot happier. And there was a lot of mess left. But there we are. It can be replaced. So this was really, you know, without this, I don't think I could have done it, to be honest. But it is a really fine one, really nice. So it's just a case of checking that the new brickwork was the same as the old, which it was, and the same width. That's the important bit. And now that I've taken the strips off underneath, I can basically build this up as I did with the new stuff. But before I did that, I thought I'd better try and scallop out this platform to allow the locos to go round the runaround. So this was my first attempt using the curved scissors, which were quite useful. But in the end, I did this amount, and it's quite a lot. And I'm still not convinced that it will be all right, but we'll have to see. Can't do any more than that. As you can see, that is looking all right. But this was not being motored, it was just me pushing, and it can move right over there. So we'll have to see how this goes. So the first thing to do to get this done was to stick on the little bits of board to set back the platform retaining wall. So used my usual glue, little drop in a pot, and made good the little tears, and then just stuck this on, and it did sort of curl where I needed it to go. It was okay, really good. So the next bit was to stick on the wall, and I did wonder if it would curl, but yes, it did, and yeah, I was quite pleased with that. It curled round the scallop. So I always time it with a mug of tea in there. So yeah, enjoyed this. So having got the edging stuck on, and it was pretty easy actually. This glue is phenomenal. As long as you know that when you stick it, that's where it wants to be near enough, it works well. If you've got to slide a lot or do a lot of alteration, I think it might be a problem. You might be better with a rocket glue, but there we are. So what we need to do now is, unlike on the original one, all that stuff I took away here that wasn't glued, I want to make this solid. So if we just move it down to my mat first, in the kit you get loads of these, and as you can hopefully see, they're scored, and when you bend them they make these up. So can I just make these up and use them? Well, I can use a couple of these like this, but the beauty I think of Metcalfe kits is you can make them whatever you want, can't you? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all these bits that I've made up into the actual model. I won't glue them, I'll just put them in position and we'll have a look. So, as I said, I've used a couple of these standard ones, but to be honest, they're not really, because if you notice, when I pull this up, there's a bit of a gap there, so I need to pack that out, which is what I'm going to do. But I think I might actually pack it out on the platform edge side, because I would like to close up the gap that's between the platform and the building. So if I glue to here, I can then, when that's glued, I can maybe just use the packing as I need to pull it up. I have to try it. So I've got the same arrangement at the bottom here, but obviously here it's deeper. So as you can see, I've made up some different ones, and they've worked out quite well. Now the one in the middle was even more not difficult, but a bit of brain power, and I wanted it to hit on that bit and that bit because there's a gap here, and it was a case of just marking it out, scribing it, and then gluing it together. And as you can see, that sticks quite well there. So the other thing you must do, and I'll come back to you in a moment. So having put the station on a flat surface, this is essential. When I glue these bits in, it needs to be on the bottom of flat, level with the bottom of the building, doesn't it? And I need to also check that the new station is going to fit up against the old station, or rather the platform. So if I push this in loose, and that's how I'll probably do it, or I'll probably glue it and then push it down, bringing in the new bit of station that we've got in here, if I put that alongside, that looks pretty good to me. And if you remember, this end was all over the place, wasn't it? So it's looking good. So the next bit to do is to glue all these pieces in, which I'm going to do after I've had my lunch, I think. But yeah, it's working out very well. As long as I can get these glued in where I need them, with it all nice and solid, that would be good. So I changed my mind and glued the packers on first, as you can see here. And there's the first one in. And yeah, a bit messy, it's still drying obviously, but yeah, it worked quite well. Didn't quite get the gap up, but there we are, we can't have everything, can we? And as you can see, looks neat enough, I would say. Yeah, so it was a case of gluing all the rest in, as you can see. And yeah, it was all looking pretty good. So yeah, looks good. And if you notice here, the canopy leg is not glued, so I might try and sort that out later on. So the edge of the platform is not very good, and if you remember on the new ones, I stuck a little bit of card along them, so I've decided to do the same again. But where the scallop is, I didn't want to put any on there because I need all that gap, so I just put some white paper along. And I got my acrylic paint out, the white, and painted it all in again like I did before. Now I had a little recess back, and it was more by luck than judgment, so I decided to make some little fixings to sort of tie these together because I don't particularly want to have them all glued in one long platform. So I stuck those on, and as you can see, they interlick in between and they line it up. That's the theory. And yeah, there we are. And the other end. So the next thing to do was to try and get the platform graphics on, really, aren't they? And I did wonder whether I'd be able to get these around the scallop. But yeah, I did the same thing. Some of the glue, a little brush, used a spoon to burnish them on, which that did help actually. It really did on this one. And yeah, it looks okay. We're going to have bits of gaps, aren't we? Yeah, I'm not too bothered as long as it looks like a platform, I don't mind. So around the scallop, yes, it wouldn't really bend round, especially on the left hand end. So I did actually score it, cut through a bit to get it again. Not great, this. Didn't think this out. So we are getting here, as you can see. And if I pan back a little bit, slowly, we are now getting the scene. So I'll just take the camera off the tripod and do a little bit of closey up. And yeah, I'm happy.
I did have a go at gluing the post down for the canopies, which seemed to work all right.
So the first thing I'm happy about is this coach will actually go across switch over. So I think if the coach does, hopefully the locos will as well. I'm happy with that. And is this finished? No, of course not. There's a lot more to be done, but we're getting there. Having hopefully glued these down, although they could still pop up, I don't know, we'll have to see. We've got something to do obviously on this back of this platform. We've also got chimney pots and everything missing. And I do believe that really the front of these gables should have some sort of board on them. You know, a patterned one of some sort. That's what they usually did in those days, I think. But yeah, I'm happy with this. So I'll show you a picture of the underneath with all the braces and everything in, and I'll explain what I need to do with all that.
So I want to hold these down the same as I did with the bridge. So I want to put some MDF pieces in between and screw them down and then sit them over. So I need to get quite tight into these openings.
So everybody, we've got the station, the basics done on the station. We've got a platform. We can run the trains in. I'm hoping the locos will miss. I hope should do, I would have thought. So I said, you know, we've got more to do, and as you saw, I did show you a bit, but we've also got these to fit. So I bought one set of these double-sided to go on this bit here, that bit there, and I've also got one with a wall to go up the other end. But even these aren't straightforward because my platforms were a lot narrower than these are designed for. So I've got some kit bashing again to do with these. So, but I think I'm going to leave these until I've got some of the other major scenic bits done. Because, you know, they're going to be vulnerable if they're sitting on the platform, aren't they? So we'll see. So I hope you've enjoyed this. And the next week, from when you see this, I should be going to another train show. I think it depends a bit on the weather. It's hammering down with rain, I might not go, but because it's quite a long drive. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully we'll have another video from a train show. Yeah, I'm waffling, aren't I? Yeah, waffling. The weather's been quite miserable really, hasn't it? But it does help in here. So goodbye everybody, and I hope you'll catch me on the next video. Bye.